On the edge of a solar system. Bob, you you stole that headline directly from what we're reading this off of. Nice work. It was better, I guess. You didn't make it up. Anyway, sorry, me and Bob are having some issues. All right, this one also posted up on the forum. And let me read a little bit of this story to you. It's kind of interesting because I've heard a lot of people go into great extent and rambling about this Planet X and all that, which I don't want to say I'm not a believer in because it's so damn hard to know. Apparently a lot's been released on NASA on it. And logistically speaking, I could certainly see it happening. It's sort of a similar belief to what I have. But what a lot of people don't understand, what 2012 is all about, is we realize that the planets rotate around the sun. Everybody understands that. But what we don't understand is as a solar system, we move up and down within the Milky Way. Not in the round-around motion, that as well, but we also move up and down. And what 2012 is all about is where we're passing that galactical plane, right smack dab in the middle of the Milky Way. And really, since the fourth dimension is everything is a reflection, I think a possibility is that there's another solar system on the exact opposite side. That do we collide? I don't think so, because it's an interdimensional deal, but maybe pass through an exact model of what we know of our solar system. But this is interesting that this is coming out. This was published on November 29th, 2010, and like I said, there's a link to it on alienaddictions.com if you want to read the whole story. And this is one that I'm not going to go into great detail on because it's somewhat new to me, honestly, so I don't want to speak out of turn while trying to inform people about this. But the article's up on the website, so go read that if you want to check out the whole article. Basically,
what is up, Space
in a
Chickens?
nutshell, the story is there's two dudes,
and we're back with Alien Addictions. Thank you, everybody, for listening
who think
to the
that
show.
there's a
on Party
Jupiter-sized
93.4.
object just right
I hope
outside
everybody's having a
of
good
the
night,
solar system's
enjoying the
edge.
show tonight. We've got an
And
interesting segment coming
apparently
up.
they seem to think that the gravity of this grabs comets from this
and
belt
after that,
of
we're going to
comets
talk a lot
that go
about
around
music,
the outside of the solar system,
influence
and
by
wings it in
aliens,
towards
also
Earth and
known
may
as
be responsible
angels
for sending
in
comets
music.
to Earth.
I think a lot of people
are
more
every 30,000
willing
years or
to,
so
to take that leap.
Oh yeah.
So
perhaps,
anyway,
fascinating
angels as
article
opposed
if
to
you want to read
aliens.
through it.
Yet,
And
I
sorry,
always
I'm not
thought it was
going
interesting
into
that
more
no one has
detail
ever made
on the alien news
no one
today,
makes
but
a connection.
we
got to
that's
move
the
on to
same
some other
thing.
things.
But
Alien
go check that
is
out,
not
and
from
it's
Earth.
something that perhaps we'll talk about a
Same
little bit
thing.
more
All right.
in a future
I had
show.
a plan for
All
the
right,
show
everybody.
this week.
Thanks for showing up for the alien news.
I'm like a
appreciate
habitual
Bob McGalen's
non-planner,
limited
and this is
help.
exactly
And I
why,
appreciate
because
yours.
when I make
Thanks,
plans,
Bob.
they don't work out.
I don't know why,
We'll be
but
back.
it's like
Here's
1
some more
plus
cool
1
music.
equals 2. I plan on something, doesn't work. Plan on something, doesn't work. So I usually just never plan at all, which screws me over a lot of times in a lot of ways. But at the same time, at least I'm, able to. I love the Bob Dylan quote. I think it was Bob Dylan. I'm going to give him credit either way, but Bob Dylan said, "My hero is a man who wakes up in the morning, does whatever the hell he wants to do, and then goes to bed at night." So at least I'm a hero of Bob Dylan, I guess, if nothing else. So I planned out the show this week, and I planned a guest. Chris Arms is his name, and we're going to have him on next week. We decided to hold it off a week with him because we've got so much to go into. And Chris is a musician. I'll let you know a little bit more about him later. But has been the singer in a couple different bands that have been fairly well known. So, an interview takes up, I don't know, hour and a half. This one may go the whole 2 hours with him. Hopefully we have time for music breaks with the musician interview. But we've got a lot of things to talk about with Chris. So that was pretty much my plan for most of the show. And I was like, well, I'll find something else to talk about. It's not like I'm ever having a challenge doing that. So at one point, I found out about an abductee who had a pretty darn cool, I don't know, interesting story. And I'm trying to do this thing with our website, alienaddictions.com. And if you haven't been there, go check it out. I'm putting together an encounters section where what I want to get is we've got this group that comes to the site that's fascinated in this topic, has seen many UFOs, most of them, and a lot of them know they've been abducted to or strongly suspect they've been abducted. And it is hard to tell a lot of times, and I'll go into detail on that later. Maybe. Oh my, look at me, I'm planning right after I said I'm never going to do it again. But this particular person had a tremendous story, and I asked this person to be a part of the encounters section and to tell their story. And this person went along with it, wrote a very long, great, detailed write-up on their encounters, as well as sending some other things that would have been of great interest to people. And then I was just getting ready to tell about this person's story a little bit, was going to have the person as a guest on the show, and got an email saying, yeah, and actually the more I've thought about it and slept on it, not sure I'm ready to share this with the world. Once it's out there, it never comes back, which is true, and something that we should all be aware of. And I, of course, responded in my typical smart-ass way, saying, no, sorry, it's really too late for you to back out of it. I sent an email to the president, Jesus. I can't remember if I CC'd the Pope on it or not, but I'm pretty sure I did. And then went on to tell the person, of course, it's no problem. I remain anonymous. I go by the name Alienphotog. Because personally, I have 2 children, and I'm a great dad. And do they hear about me rambling about aliens? Do they know about the radio show? Yeah, they do. As well, they've witnessed some things that they'll be believers when they grow up, that's for sure, based off what they've seen with their own eyes. At the same time, I go to the grocery store to pick up food, and my kids are out there with me. I don't need them skipping and jumping down the fruit roll-up aisle. That's a favorite, fruit roll-ups, and have somebody come up to me like, "Oh my God, you're Alienphotog," but say my real name or whatever, and start asking 95 questions about aliens. Because everybody's got 95 questions who's interested in this topic when you happen to know something about it from personal experience. I don't need that. I don't need my kids having that memory, and so that's why I use the alias Alienphotog. But it's interesting trying to get people for the encounter thing, and I figured that would be a great segment, is to yap about the weird effing similarities that we all share. Because there are some personality traits and things in people who are alien-y, as I like to call them. I hate the word abductees. That are fascinating and unique to our group, and we all seem to have all of them. And the only way I found this out was being in the very, very unique position of receiving thousands of emails from all freaking points of the world, from the YouTube videos that I put up talking about my experiences, saying, hey, if you need to talk to somebody or if you need to put some of the pieces together, email me. And of course, everyone's still more than welcome to do that. Alienphotog@gmail.com. ALIENPHOTOG is my email. You can also contact me at the website there. And I encourage people to post things on the forum now, because we can remain anonymous there and you get more inputs than just mine. And we've got a lot of very smart people there. But I thought, hey, that would be a good segment that people would find interesting, is getting it from my side. I'm getting thousands of these emails. All of them are incredibly long. All of them are really long. I bought this software because I typed like 10 hours a day for like 3 months doing this. And I finally found the software for $40 that just like types what I say. And weird shit comes out sometimes on it. Like sometimes it rhymes with what I say. Like sometimes when I say question mark, because you have to say your punctuation, it will type Russian arc, which really, Russian arc never fits in any sense I've ever said. So, yeah. But other than that, it works great and made me 4 times more productive. But having been in that bizarre ass situation of getting all these stories, I've learned some really interesting things that we all have in common. And a lot of times the question I get is, how do you know if you're an alien abductee? And the reason why people ask that is because they have some device that erases memories of being up there. I have very, very few distinct memories of being with them. I do have some. I've seen them on the ground. But compared to the times I know that I've gone, you learn to sort of know when it's happening by symptoms like missing time, like you'll wake up turned around in your bed, things like that. Little details you learn, like, well, apparently I went last night. I don't remember, but it was a weird night. And it's very intangible in that sense. And which is frustrating because you get a lot of bullshit for that. You get a lot of people doubting you for that. And I don't get many emails like that. I get a lot of short, brief comments like on YouTube of people calling me a nut job. But it's really frustrating to get when you get them. Like, you asshole. Like, I haven't thought of that. Like I haven't worried about whether, when it's so intangible, whether it's happening or not. For a long time, it's very hard to figure out what's going on. So that was why I enjoyed getting people's stories. And I've heard, my God, every story. And all of our stories are very, very, very similar, which is very bizarre to me. But it was really nice for me to get them, I guess, in the sense that